I'm a celibate. I've been a celibate for lots and lots and lots of years. I just don't wear the kavi. Okay? And again, I'm not self-proclaimed. My guru saw where I'm at in realization and then commanded that I go forward to be a guru. I was commissioned to do this. I didn't just wake up one morning and say, I think I'll be a guru. Nobody would choose this work that actually knows what it takes to do it, okay? So let me explain something to you. When you tell me maybe I should go meditate. Really? I'm in meditation 24/7. That's what the state of Turiyatita is. It means the mind is still. What do you meditate for? So you quiet the mind. When your mind has no more thoughts, it's quiet, it's still all the time. You're in meditation without meditating, okay? It's my living reality. So unlike you, that runs around the net and viewing this and that, and your mind is running 10,000 miles an hour, grasping at this, grasping at that, my mind is still, always, always still, quiet, no thought. Like the pristine diamond, clear, without imperfection, without anything occluding it. So better you worry about your path. And if you're fortunate, maybe you'll get to 1/8 of the way where my living reality is. Okay? People have such a ridiculous notion. This is why they get taken in by these fakes and these frauds in India. They see some guy with a brown face, wearing kavi, wearing a cloth, that's got a great accent, and they can spew out any bullshit, and people will believe it and eat it up. You see a woman in the West with a white face, and immediately, what can she know? Let me tell you something. Spirituality is about consciousness. It's about consciousness. It has nothing to do with the physical form. Whether you're male, whether you're female. Okay? This idea that you have to be a male, you know, the writing on that is you have more chance if you are a male. Why is that? Because the woman had to take care of the house, the kids, so they had no time on their hands at all. They worked from morning to night. Men had more opportunity. They had a lot more free time. That's the only reason that statement was ever made. Okay? So again, you know, don't come here with your fallacy of ideas, your assumptions, and leave ridiculous, stupid remarks on my channel because you've seen the title of some videos and you've never really watched any teachings that have been given here. Nothing. And yet, you're going to sit there and assess what I know, what I don't know. And you're going to give me your valuable insight. Right? Okay. Living in the mind of Turiyatita is like from daylight, being in absolute daylight, in clarity, in every second, versus most people's minds, which is stumbling around in the dark, trying to grasp to something. Okay? All of my life I've studied scriptures. Started out with the Bible. Read Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Uddhava Gita, the Sastras, all of the writings. So many writings. Okay? So don't come here and think that I have a white face and I don't know. Okay? Don't judge a book by its cover. Actually open it up and see what the content is before you start opening and make a fool of yourself. Okay? You would be wise to find out what's actually here versus reading a thing that I've said a lot of things. Yes, I'm a guru. Guru means weighty with knowledge. One that enlightens, enlivens. It is my job to get people out of suffering as much as I can, to aid them in their journey forward out of suffering. And when I see some fool, like Nityananda, like Sai Baba was, Nityananda, Osho, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, all these fools that have a very low state of consciousness and are parading themselves as some sort of a light, yes, I'm going to speak out. Just as I speak out against the Catholic Church. These priests should be excommunicated immediately and prosecuted. I have no love lost for fake gurus, fake teachers, fake priests. And I will continue to stand up and I will continue to speak out. So those who want to come to my channel and make your ridiculous, foolish statements, you'll be sent packing, okay? Because my students, the ones that have come here, the ones that are my students know the shifts they're getting in consciousness, okay? Not bullshit. I'm not sitting on a throne every day talking bullshit and trying to convince them that they're somewhere that they're not. They get the practices. I leave them alone to do their work because it's a solitary journey. You have to put the time in. You have to put the effort in. You have to surrender. It's your path. You have to surrender. You have to walk it. No one can do it for you. And you don't need some bullshit wannabe guru sitting there all day trying to convince you that you've got something that you don't. Okay? The proof is in the pudding. Either there are massive shifts of consciousness that are taking place, or there are not. Okay? Big difference. My students, when they get cities, they get genuine cities, not some fake wannabe, put on a blindfold and see through the thing and then say you got a power. Not through stuffing gems in your mouth and then spitting them out and say, I got a power. Not through putting a coconut on your hand and moving your hand and the coconut moves. I got a power. Okay? Nonsense. Okay? He doesn't give powers. He doesn't give anything. And it's not about powers. They're only there to show you that there is something more. There is something to continue to go forward to. Okay? And there are tests along the way. You get stuck and caught in powers and thinking yourself you're so big, you got something. You fall right back into ego and you lose any chance to go forward to realization. Okay? Okay? Are we clear? So don't worry about my name. Don't worry about me meditating. Again, I'm in meditation 24/7. My mind is still. Can you say that? Do you have 2 seconds of stillness a day? 2 seconds of quiet in your mind? Imagine what it's like to live my life, where there's only quiet 24/7. No matter what kind of bullshit people throw, it doesn't disturb. There's not one iota of anything that sticks. Okay? I can't even remember what it's like to be in a mind with all that running drama any longer. It's been since 1999, all of that ended. And none of it comes back. Okay? If you've done your path and you've walked away, when you go through that death before death and everything implodes, indeed you become blown out. You enter nirvana, nibbana, being blown out. Okay? It means that all your false identifications have ended. They got left at the station. And you don't take it back. None of that baggage comes back. You are free. You are in moksha, realization. And then if you've done right, and you don't go back and try to rehash, then maybe you can go into Turiyatita. That still, quiet, center, 0 point balance of non-duality. I'm not talking about some ideation of non-duality where they say oneness, and their nonsense that they're peddling as realization, they call it's oneness. No, that's called God realization. If you're a follower of Krishna, at the time when I entered oneness, I was more under the realization of Krishna, that type of consciousness. And that's all you see everywhere. You see Krishna in every being, in every animal, in every tree, every rock, that's God realization. It's not realization. It's not Turiyatita. Everything feels like it's part of the same one whole. That's not non-duality. Okay? You've got way further to go from that point on. Way further to go. Oneness means sort of like one. It's not really one, it's sort of like one. In non-duality, it's not even one, it's a 0. Okay? It's not even one. They say one, but it's not one. One can be subdivided. This can never be subdivided, ever. It's the 0. Until you reach that point, you have not entered realization. You're still playing a game. Okay? So you can either look for a genuine guru, one that's weighty with knowledge, that's a realized master, that's a true Swami, which means Lord, one that has come to fruition in their path. Okay? Or you can chase idiots that sit on thrones and do a lot of doublespeak, which says nothing. They'll repeat the same thing hundreds of times, trying to convince you, with a lot of doublespeak that makes no sense, and you just think it's so high you can't understand it. No, it just makes no sense, okay? Those are the tricks they use. Hello? And think they're bringing something new in. If they're bringing something new in, then it's made up fantasy bullshit, because there's nothing new under the sun. A realized master, you will find that they are direct alignment with ones like Ramana Maharishi, Nisargadatta, the genuine realized masters that are in non-duality. It's the same consciousness. There are not many different consciousnesses in non-duality, unlike in the divisionary world, where everybody's in their own skewed belief ideation, running on their soap opera that they're involved in at the moment. In realization, in non-duality, there's only a singular reality. Therefore, when they speak of non-dual, it will all be the same thing. Okay? And there are very, very few on the planet that are in genuine non-dual reality. Because it takes your whole lifetime of genuine focus and surrender to have the grace to live in that state. Okay? It's by grace. You have to want it more than you want anything else on this planet. Okay? Not as a side point. You know, so many people say they want realization, but they don't want realization. They want to have ego aggrandizement. They think they're going to get a bigger, better ego. More control, more power. That's not realization. In realization, the person you thought you were is gone. Never existed. A fantasy. You want to go through death and find out you've been a fantasy? The only reality is God? Okay? Everything you thought you gathered and collected, you find out was garbage. Okay? Garbage. So when people find out that they don't become a bigger, better me, there is no me. Okay? Okay? And genuine realization can be a real shocker, let me tell you. And it takes quite a while to come back to be able to even use the word me. When realization took place here, couldn't even say it for 2-3 years. Because it's not part of the reality for you any longer. It's not that you're trying to be higher, better than other people because you use, like this one, I would say this one. Not trying to be something special, whatever you want to view it as. It just, there was no me. There's no me. Okay? There's no storyline any longer. No, you know. So it takes a long time, again, to get back to be able to use conventional language. Okay? Because it's not part of the reality any longer. But indeed, it is a grace to live in a stilled mind. No mind. Okay? 0 point. Absolute quietude. Always. I could be sitting there being screaming memes, and the mind is still. Okay? It's like you go from having a storm and a revolving tornado inside to entering the eye of the storm where it's absolutely still. You become the eye of the storm. And around you can be swirling like this mad, but the center is always still. And you become a force to be reckoned with, because now you become like a tornado, a hurricane. Okay? I could spend all day denouncing and having people trying to be in their monkey cages throwing shit all day, and it doesn't do a thing. Okay? Whereas you, if somebody threw this at you, you'd be all day worrying about it, and oh my God, and you know, grousing and all this drama. There's nothing here. Okay? Believe it or not, I don't care one way or another, because it doesn't change the reality that's here. Okay? It's kind of like, you know, if you had been out there and you actually had seen a Bigfoot. Doesn't matter how many people call you a liar, you know that you've actually seen it. It's living, it's a reality. And they could call you crazy all they want. They could say whatever they want, but you know the truth. It's there, you've seen it. You know it exists. It's not a fantasy for you, it's a reality. Just like here, Turiyatita is a reality. The fact that Kundalini was awakened, it went through the whole of the thing, completed, is a reality. And no amount of naysayers is going to change that. Whatever your idea is, it's not going to change the living reality here. Just like, you know, people can come here and throw trash talk all they want, but my students know what they're getting. And they know the shifts and the changes it's made in their lives. Those that actually put the practices into motion. Now, those that come and want to stay on a periphery, they don't actually follow through. They want to take a bunch of other crap at the same time, which they're told not to do. And then if you don't move forward, that's on you, my dear. Okay? But students that are actually students, that listen, that follow through, that walk their path in sincerity, no amount of your bullshit talk will confuse them in any way, because they know what they've gotten here. They know the shifts that are occurring. Okay? And it's not easy. I never tell anybody a spiritual path is easy. Because if you're walking it the right way, it's going to be the most difficult thing you've ever done in your life. Okay? There are no promises here of goodie bags. Okay? Puffing your ego up. Furthest thing from it here. While most paths are trying to help you to make a bigger, better ego, this is not that path. This path is dispelling the notions. Netty, netty, not this, not this, not this. Netty, 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 netty. Don't cling to this, don't cling to that. Netty, netty. Okay? You're not going to find some nakali Baba here, some fake nakali. Okay? Just ask the Babas in Rishikesh, and they'll tell you, there are some there that are afraid of me, because I'll go after them when they're doing this bullshit. Okay? When they're out there asking, bakshish, give me money, give me this, give me that. And I ask them, I go up and tell them, are you a sadhu, or are you a beggar? If you want to be a beggar, take off the kavi. If you want to be a beggar, take it off. Okay? We got some alert going somewhere. If you're going to be a beggar, take off the kavi. Be a beggar. But don't disgrace sannyas. Don't disgrace it. Okay? I've been known to pick up a danda and chase them. And one Baba, every time he sees me coming, it's Kali! Kali's coming. Oh my God, he'd take off. Because he knows I'm no bullshit. Okay? People that, when I lived in India, they know who and what I was and what I am. When I was wearing the kavi, they'd see me. I go by the Ganga side and I do my practices, meditation. I never once smoked ganja, wasn't into any of the charas, nothing. Brown sugar, heroin, all the crap that's going on there. My focus was on the straight and narrow. That was it. Okay. I wasn't one of these tourists that went there to sit there and smoke and toke and think I'm doing some great spiritual practice. Okay. And I was very well respected there for that reason. Because I went and I was serious. Okay. I wasn't out playing games. I was doing my practice, my meditation. Every day. 24/7. Okay. So again, those that want to come and view my channel, cursory view, don't know a thing about me, don't know my practices, don't know my life. All they see is an older white woman sitting here in the West now. And they make such broad assumptions, foolish assumptions. Okay? No matter. It doesn't change the reality here. It just means that you lose an opportunity that's very, very rare in this world to come on a genuine master, someone that's genuinely in the state of Turiyatita, stilled, quiet mind. And rather than recognizing that, you'd be the fool that would be in India chasing this guy in Haridwar that just simply didn't open his mouth, he didn't speak, so they think he's in silence. Oh, it's so great. It's so great. What's great about it? That's not moan. Moan. Silence, moan. It means the mind is still. Turiyatita. Doesn't mean not talking. Doesn't mean not talking. People are so flailingly stupid on scripture. Okay? Moan. M-O-U-N-A. Moan. Silence. Stillness. It means quiet mind. Turiyatita. Turiya state. Turiyatita. The state of stillness. 0 point. Same thing, you go to the tantric temples. They don't know a thing about them anymore. And if you understand really what they are, when you enter that temple, like all the things of the world that you're doing is on the outside of it. And all they see is sex, this and that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look what they're doing. No, it represents the outer world. You don't understand the mathematics that go into the temple. If you understood that, real Tantra and the mathematics of it, it's right there in plain sight. So many lessons. People are so stupid, they don't get it. Okay? You enter the temple. And you look out and you see the world. The world is there. The further you go into the temple, the more still it becomes, the more quiet it becomes, the more. Okay? And you leave it. Leave the things of the world out there. If you understood the real meaning of the linga and the yoni, and some stupid people think it's a penis. And it's a yoni, and we're teaching sex, and that's Tantra. Bullshit. Has nothing to do with real, genuine Tantra. Okay? And the linga has nothing to do with a fakaka penis. Okay? Such stupid, stupid ideations people have. Stupid ideations. There's a reason the linga is in an oval shape. It's the zero. That which contains nothing yet is inherently, looks like it has nothing. But it has everything that will ever come into existence, and it's only known when it comes through the yoni, when it comes into that movement, to that motion. And it looks as if it is splintered apart into various things, but it all has to do with vibration. Okay. So much more to the deep knowledge that people have an idea about. And they continue to want to chase these flailing, failing nonsense being put out there, rather than find out the reality, what can actually move them forward into moksha, freedom, realization. Okay. So all I can say is continue to make your idiotic assumptions. Enjoy that, because that's all you got. Okay? You got precious else. Precious, precious little else. Okay? The real, genuine masters are not those that were out there crowing and putting themselves on thrones and having people out there hawking their wares. No. They lived their lives wherever they were. Like Ramana, like Nisargadatta. Okay. Like Sai Baba of Shirdi. Like Kabir. They lived their lives where they were, as they were. Okay? And those that you want to chase and put on pedestals as real, genuine gurus are making a mockery. They're playing a fantasy. They're playing a game. Putting on a popular face of all the ideations that people have collected and made a story of it. And they're selling it to you hook, line, and sinker. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Don't be fooled because somebody's putting on a big show. Okay? Don't be fooled and think that, real spirituality comes in a preset package. Don't be fooled. Okay. Have a great day, everyone. And I will continue to be here in stillness, watching this show. It's like the great journey is such a joke in the end. You go everywhere around the world looking for it, and you could never have gotten away from it if you tried. Your failing thought is that you think you're separate, okay? And this doesn't mean that you're going to have some insight that, oh, we're together and it's going to be instant realization. It doesn't happen that way, okay? It doesn't happen that way. It's the endpoint, what one sees, one knows, one, lives. But it's not a insight that one gets suddenly one day. An insight does not still the mind, okay? One has to genuinely enter nirvana, nibbana, being blown out. Okay, and that takes years and years and years of dedicated searching and surrender and prayer and wanting God more than you want the next breath. Okay, and being willing to go through whatever hell you have to go through in order to get there, to that point of grace where that surrender is accepted by God. And that door is opened. And one is forever changed in that instant. Don't be fooled. Okay? Don't be fooled.